Stiegald versus United States. This was a Supreme Court case which held in part, absent exigent circumstances or consent, a home may not be searched without a warrant. Two distinct interests were implicated by the search in this case. Lyon's interest in being free from an unreasonable seizure and petitioner's interest in being free from an unreasonable search of his home. Because the arrest warrant for Lyons addressed only the former interest, the search of petitioner's home was no more reasonable from petitioner's perspective than it would have been if conducted in the absence of any warrant. The search therefore violated the Fourth Amendment. Also, in the Ninth Circuit Court case of Mendez v. County of Los Angeles, that partially held in reference to Stiegald v. United States, exigent circumstances to enter a home do not exist merely because the police know the location of a fugitive, even if they possess an arrest warrant for that person. And finally, the Idaho Penal Code of Section 18-705 goes over obstruction of justice, which states, every person who willfully resists, delays, or obstructs any public officer in the discharge or attempt to discharge of any duty of his office or who knowingly gives a false report to any peace officer. Now that I have read you these extremely important laws and court cases, now it's time to set the stage. This all happened near midnight on November 3rd, 2024, with the victims of this unlawful entry being Kyle Adams and Angel Graham, with the primary perpetrator being David Shaner of the Idaho Falls Police Department. Now you see, back in 2015, Jericho Graham was convicted of felony charges of drug trafficking and possession of a firearm by a felon, in which case he was held for about 6 years and was released on parole, which required him to stay in the state of Hawaii. Apparently, he violated his parole when he traveled to Idaho to visit his family for the sole purpose of going fishing with his sister, that being Angel. And because he ended up leaving the state, there was a court-issued warrant against him for his arrest, which is exactly where Idaho Falls PD comes in, when they get an anonymous tip that apparently Jericho was within the household of Kyle Adams and Angel Graham. Now, keeping in mind the backstory and the laws that we read you, let's play you some of this footage. We sincerely hope you all enjoy, and viewer discretion is advised.
10-4.
Now, one thing I want you to note, people, is that at the beginning, he doesn't even announce himself.
That better... Oh, hello. Hold on, putting kids to bed. Hold on. Let me turn this on. Hi.
Hi, Angel. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey.
Hi.
That was Jericho. Jericho's inside.
Oh, yeah.
Open the door.
I will.
I'm gonna kick it in
Hold
about
on, just
3.
I have 2
2,
kids in there. Will you
1.
please?
Open the door.
I will open it. I have kids. I have kids.
Jericho.
I have kids.
Jericho.
I have kids. I have kids. Please. I have kids. I will. I have kids.
Why are we just opening doors? It's private property.
I have kids.
Yeah.
I have kids.
Whoa.
Okay, walk to us.
We're good.
You're under arrest, Jericho.
That's not Jericho.
I'm not Jericho.
I know,
This
I'm trying
officer
to
just
help
kicked
Jericho.
open the door.
Right? And she had the opportunity to open and she refused.
No, that's not.
Yeah, that's a straight-up lie. We know
Has a
it.
warrant.
You heard her, right?
Get him up
Where
here.
is your paper warrant, officer?
I don't need it. Hey, you know what?
You don't need
You're
it.
detained. Come here.
I'm
Come here.
being
You're being detained. Come here. Yeah.
Tried to be reasonable.
Yeah.
Jericho needs
Come
to
here.
My kids are right here. No, that's not how this works in real
Just watch
life.
the back.
And I'm staying out of the way.
Thank you. Then sit down and be quiet.
I'm recording this whole thing now.
Okay? He has a warrant for felon
Hey, no,
possession.
where's your paper?
Come here right now. Do I need to come in there and arrest you in front of your kids?
Hold on, please don't.
Come out here.
Show me the paper
Kyle,
warrant.
stop.
I don't
This is
need
where
a
I
paper
write
warrant.
them, please.
He has a warrant, felon in possession of a firearm, which is my gun was out.
I promise.
Do you want to be detained?
Don't do this. Please.
Okay? Knock it off.
Please. Kyle.
Jericho!
Kyle,
Come to the sound of my voice! I need you guys out of here because he's dangerous. I'm going to come in and get you here in a second.
There's no weapons, I promise.
I'm going to come in and
Don't
get you in a
do this in front
second
of
unless you come to me right
kids. I
now.
promise. There's kids here. They're right.
I know my
Are
law,
your
sir.
kids
Yeah,
right
do
here?
you?
Kyle.
Because there's a felon in here with a warrant.
Kyle. Are the kids right
Okay.
here?
You're going to detain me.
Kyle!
I am going
You're
to.
holding next to my kids.
No, I'm not. I'm going to detain you because of how you're acting right now.
But I know you can't step foot in here without a paper warrant.
Keep in mind the key words from this cop. At no point does he say what crime that Kyle here is committing. From my understanding, all he's doing is just sitting down and exercising his First Amendment right to redress his grievances by saying that this cop had no right, obviously, to break into their home. And don't forget what we discussed about the 2 court cases involving this.
I'm recording this all.
Yeah, so are we, dude.
Yep.
Okay, come here. You're bothering me. Come here. You're a safety issue now.
How am I safe?
Come here. Stand up.
Just because he was talking and recording, he's now a safety issue.
I am not doing
That's it.
absolutely anything. I'll put my hands towards, like, palm together.
It doesn't Houston v. Hill kind of count for this too?
I'm not doing anything to...
Does he stay up? Yes, you do.
He's up there right now.
Okay.
Put his finger, though.
Out. Okay. Out. Stop.
Can you please grab my phone?
Please, Kyle, don't do this.
I'm not no. That's perfectly
That's
fine.
fine.
Okay, do you have a vehicle or something I can put the kids in?
For what?
Because we're
So
gonna
they're not
have
sitting
gas
there
in
with
this
a guy.
house if he doesn't come out.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
you
I
guys think it's okay to hang out with felons. They don't want it.
Do you have a vehicle that they...
And you've allowed
Hey,
Where's your warrant?
He's my brother.
do you have a vehicle that they can go into?
So you can step into a
Yes, I
person's
can.
house without a warrant.
Yes, I can.
This is about the kids.
No, you can't.
You two are about
Stop.
Period.
Good lord, dude.
I am not. I'm making it about the kids. He's
So are we.
part-time.
He doesn't. He can give a shit less.
Do you want
about
the
it.
keys?
Do you not understand
I'm
that
being
everything
quiet.
was going
I'm
to be
being quiet,
okay
sir.
until you created this problem?
I'm being quiet.
Do you get this?
Hold on.
Or are you that thick that
No,
you can't
no, no, no.
understand
This
it?
We obviously know who's in the wrong. It's the cops, not the occupants of that home. Now, for the sake of fast-tracking, Jericho does eventually comply with the cops' orders and goes with them in cuffs, albeit at a gunpoint and taser point, of course. Keep in mind, this was after David Shaner threatened to break every single window of that house and throw smoke bombs in it, as well as get a SWAT team involved for this arrest. So after they took Jericho into custody, this is how David proceeds to gaslight that family.
Jericho's got a warrant for felon in possession of a firearm. Okay, that's automatically a red flag, right? That's a violent warrant. That's a warrant where we have to consider him armed and dangerous. Mm-hmm. We got intel that he's here, right? So when I come up and he shuts the door and I tell Angel, that's your brother, he has a warrant, and she knew he had a warrant already, open the door. And she said, no, wait. I said, no, the door has to be open because I don't know if he's going to get a weapon.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And so I have every right to kick the door. Yeah, every right to make sure that he and
That's being
you
recorded. Okay.
and me,
You have every right to kick the door
In that
of
situation.
personal property open. Okay.
yeah.
I'm
Really,
not
dude?
trying-
Really, dude?
No.
I'm sitting here trying to have like a one-on-one conversation with you.
Fine.
Trying to explain
I
something.
can have my First Amendment right and say whatever I want to. I'm not being a dick. I'm not being.
Okay. So anyway, when I go in there and we've got a guy,
Why are you laughing,
hey,
dude?
hey,
Listen to the sergeant.
Focus.
I'm listening to you, but
focus
we
up,
got
dude.
him like
dude,
chuckling at
you're
me.
the one who has the attitude right now, okay? So seriously, when I kick the door and I've got a guy who's possibly going to find a weapon and you start flipping out in there, oh, I gotta grab my phone, my defense, right? And you start like flipping out and doing stuff like that, you become part of the problem.
Okay.
Because now you're a major distraction.
Got it.
You hear me?
Yep.
That's
Sounds
why
good.
you're in handcuffs. That's why I'm debating whether to take you to jail tonight or not for obstruction.
And it was all because he was recording this unlawful break-in as well as stating his rights. As this tyrant admitted on camera, by mocking Kyle Adams, of course. And to add insult to injury, he proceeds to gaslight the kids as well.
So what that means when I see that is that I don't know if Jericho has a gun or doesn't, but I have to assume that he does for safety reasons, right? Well, when I come up here, like, I don't need to have a warrant to come into this house because Jericho's in here and he has a warrant. So when Angel comes out to talk to me and I see Jericho shut the door and I say, hey, open the door, because I don't know what Jericho's doing and I have to assume the worst, which in some cases means the bad guy's going to get a gun and he's going to shoot me, or he's going to take you guys hostage, I'm not saying this is what happened, obviously, or what could happen, but I
Worst
don't.
case scenario.
Worst case scenario. So I have to be
rules.
able to see the guy. I have to be able to see Jericho.
And follow the
All right.
rules.
And
yes.
because Angel wouldn't open the door, I kicked the door open. All right. To keep everybody safe.
Alright, I don't think you need to hear any more of these bold-faced lies. It's obvious that the lady actually literally said, okay, I'll open the door, right before this tyrant kicked it open. And I really hope those kids don't grow up someday and actually believe every single word that this tyrant cop says. Now, it is true that Kyle Adams and Angel Graham have been released with no charges on either of them, even though there were threats of obstruction of justice and harboring a felon. But on the bright side, we the people, Kyle Adams actually got to be interviewed by the civil rights lawyer himself. And during this interview, he stated that he's thinking about filing federal charges against those cops involved, especially against David Shaner. In other words, prepare yourselves for an easy $1 million lawsuit, baby. Now, if you'd like to see that interview for yourselves, along with a link to this original video, that will be placed down below in the description and pinned comment. Also, make sure you go subscribe to Garth Gilbert Gaylord, stay tuned for any updates to this unlawful entry, and let them all know the Recognizing a Right sent you, and give them all the love and support that you feel they deserve. Not only that, we the people, but in the description and the pinned comment, we have our own promo link to Attorney Shield with a discount code ROR1776 to give yourselves 10% off your first purchase. Make sure to check that out immediately and get yourselves protected from police interactions. That being said, can't thank you guys enough for watching. Make sure to just never stop loving the good old Constitution.